Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Travis Kelce signing with the Miami Dolphins has sent shockwaves through the NFL landscape, creating a buzz that feels more like a blockbuster movie announcement than a regular off-season transaction. Fans in Miami, and honestly across the entire football world, woke up to a rumor that quickly escalated into a headline. The All-Pro tight end is officially leaving Kansas City and bringing his talent to South Beach. It's the kind of move that doesn't just change the dynamics of one team, it reshapes the identity of a whole conference. For over a decade, Kelce has been the definition of dominance at his position, redefining what a tight end can do with speed, precision, power, and swagger. Now he's swapping out red and yellow for aqua and orange, and Miami supporters are already fantasizing about the connection between Tua Tagovailoa and Kelce, a partnership that could light up stadiums from September all the way into January. This isn't just a football signing. It's a cultural event, a storyline that instantly makes the Dolphins one of the most entertaining franchises to watch this coming season. Miami hasn't had a buzz this big since the days of Dan Marino, and Kelce knows it. The narrative of Kelce's career has always been tied to the Kansas City Chiefs, to Patrick Mahomes, and to those unforgettable playoff runs that turned the team into a modern dynasty. But even dynasties evolve, and even legends crave new challenges. For Kelce, joining the Dolphins is more than a change of scenery. It's an opportunity to carve out a new chapter that stands on its own. Imagine the spotlight of Miami, the glitz, the nightlife, the tropical vibe. It aligns perfectly with his larger-than-life personality. This is an athlete who thrives on energy, who feeds off the crowd, who loves the spectacle as much as the sport itself. And in Miami, spectacle is part of the DNA. The Dolphins have been knocking on the door of greatness these past few years, building a roster filled with explosive playmakers like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Adding Kelce is like attaching rocket fuel to an already dangerous offense. Defensive coordinators across the league are already panicking, knowing they'll have to figure out how to cover a lineup that feels like a cheat code in Madden. What makes this move even juicier is the reunion storyline. Let's not forget Tyreek Hill, Kelce's old running mate in Kansas City, is already thriving in Miami. The chemistry those two shared with Mahomes was electric, legendary, and nearly impossible to stop. Now, Hill and Kelce are back together, but in a new system, under new colors, and with new motivations. Fans can already hear the echoes of Cheetah and Zeus wreaking havoc again, only this time on the beaches of Florida instead of the plains of Missouri. The possibilities are endless. Double coverage on Hill leaves Kelce wide open. Bracket coverage on Kelce frees up Hill to torch defenses downfield. It's pick your poison, and either way, Miami comes out on top. That dynamic alone makes the Dolphins must-see TV. But layered on top is the intrigue of whether Tua can elevate his game to handle all these weapons. For Kelce, it's not about proving he can still play. He's already a Hall of Famer, but about proving he can dominate in a new uniform, in a new conference, under a new set of expectations. The locker room impact of Travis Kelce can't be underestimated either. Beyond the stats, beyond the highlight reel catches, this is a guy who brings swagger, leadership, and a contagious energy that changes the atmosphere of an entire franchise. The Dolphins have had talent, but leadership at the highest level has sometimes felt like the missing ingredient. Kelce arrives with rings, with experience, with the credibility of having been in the biggest games, and that kind of presence has ripple effects. Younger players look up to him, veterans respect him, and fans rally behind him. In a league where mental toughness often decides the difference between contenders and pretenders, having someone like Kelce in the locker room is invaluable. He's not just there to catch passes. He's there to teach, to inspire, to raise the standard. The Dolphins now have a figure who can walk into any stadium, stare down any opponent, and make everyone in aqua and orange believe they belong among the elite. That psychological shift is just as important as any touchdown he scores. And then there's the spectacle off the field, which Miami knows better than most teams how to maximize. Kelce isn't just a football player. He's a cultural icon, known for his charisma, his relationship with global superstar Taylor Swift, and his ability to cross over into mainstream entertainment. Pair that with Miami's reputation as a city of celebrities, influencers, and spectacle, and you have the perfect marriage of star power and sports. The Dolphins are no longer just a football team. They're an event. Expect celebrity sightings at Hard Rock Stadium. Expect national media coverage for every little storyline. And expect KELCE's face on billboards all over South Florida. This is a move that transforms not only the Dolphins roster, but also their brand, their visibility, and their influence in the cultural conversation. Miami just went from relevant to headline-grabbing, and Travis Kelce is the centerpiece of it all. The NFL thrives on storylines, and this one has everything: drama, nostalgia, glamour, and the promise of fireworks. Of course, no rumor turned reality comes without questions. Can Kelce maintain his elite production in the heat of Miami, after years of playing in a system built perfectly around him in Kansas City? Will his body, after so many seasons of heavy usage, hold up for a team that will rely on him as much as the Chiefs once did? Can Tua handle the pressure of keeping Kelce, Hill, and Waddle all fed with targets while still protecting the football? These are fair questions, and they create just enough suspense to make this storyline even more compelling. But if there's one thing we've learned about Kelce, it's that he thrives when people doubt him. Every time someone has questioned his longevity, he's come back with another season of dominance. Every time the spotlight has gotten brighter, he's performed bigger. Miami is betting not just on talent, but on personality, resilience, and hunger. And if Kelce delivers, the Dolphins might not just be contenders, they might be unstoppable. The ripple effect of Travis Kelce joining Miami stretches far beyond the football field. Think about the ticket sales, the jersey sales, the primetime games. The Dolphins are now guaranteed. Networks will be fighting over who gets to broadcast Miami's matchups, because suddenly every game feels like a show. Kelce is the kind of player who turns casual fans into diehard followers, who makes people who normally wouldn't watch the Dolphins suddenly tune in. That's the level of influence he carries. Miami has always been a city built on spectacle, from its beaches to its nightlife to its basketball glory days with LeBron James and the Heat. Now the Dolphins finally have a superstar of that caliber, someone who can elevate the entire brand. And make no mistake, Kelce knows his value extends beyond his stats. He thrives on attention, and in Miami, he'll get more of it than ever before. It's not just about football, it's about creating an era, a vibe, a moment that will be remembered in sports history. For Miami fans, this isn't just about chasing a Super Bowl, it's about finally being back in the cultural spotlight where they feel they belong. And when you dig deeper, this move feels like a calculated chess play by the Dolphins front office. They've watched other franchises dominate headlines by going all in on star players, and now it's their turn. Adding Kelce isn't just about filling a position. It's about making a statement to the rest of the league that Miami is done being overlooked. They want to be mentioned in the same breath as Kansas City, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Buffalo. They want respect, and the fastest way to get it is by signing someone who has already been to the mountaintop. Kelce brings championship DNA, and that rubs off on everyone around him. Even if you're skeptical about how many years of elite play he has left, you can't deny the impact he'll have on the mindset of this team. The Dolphins are sending a message. We're serious, we're bold, and we're ready to compete for it all right now. In a league where windows of opportunity close fast, this is the kind of move that shows they refuse to wait. Of course, there's an undeniable drama in the idea of Kelce facing off against his old team. Picture the storyline of Miami hosting Kansas City, Kelce lining up against the very defense that used to celebrate with him, and Patrick Mahomes throwing passes without his longtime security blanket. That's Hollywood-level drama, and the NFL schedulers are probably already circling dates to make sure that game lands on primetime television. Rivalries are built on emotion, and nothing fuels emotion like betrayal, even if it's professional. Chiefs fans are divided. Some feel gratitude for everything Kelce did in Kansas City. Others feel bitterness watching him don new colors, especially Miami's vibrant aqua and orange. For Kelce, those games will mean more than just another week on the calendar. They'll be personal. It's his chance to prove that he wasn't just great because of Mahomes, but great because of his own talent, determination, and leadership. And if he lights up the Chiefs' defense wearing a Dolphins jersey, that will be a statement moment, the kind that lives in highlight reels for decades to come. It's not just sport, it's theater, and everyone knows it. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Finns this week? But while the spotlight will shine brightly on KELCE, the responsibility for this partnership's success doesn't rest solely on his shoulders. Tua Tagovailoa enters the most important season of his career with higher expectations than ever. Critics have questioned his durability, his arm strength, and his ability to win big games. Now, with KELCE as a target alongside Hill and Waddle, excuses no longer exist. Tua must deliver, not just for the Dolphins, but for his own legacy. The front office has essentially given him the ultimate gift, the best set of weapons any quarterback could dream of. If he can't thrive under these conditions, the whispers about Miami looking elsewhere for a franchise quarterback will only grow louder. On the flip side, if Tua rises to the occasion, this Dolphins team could become unstoppable, a juggernaut that rewrites offensive records. KELCE's presence raises the bar for everyone, but most of all for the quarterback who has the keys to it all. This partnership is as much about Tua proving himself as it is about KELCE showcasing his greatness in a new city. The stakes are sky high, and that's what makes it so thrilling. Another angle to this story is the sheer entertainment factor. KELCE has always been a showman, known for his touchdown dances, his fiery interviews, and his larger-than-life energy. Now, imagine him celebrating in Miami, with palm trees swaying, fans in teal and orange screaming, and the city's party atmosphere amplifying every moment. It's tailor-made for viral clips, social media buzz, and endless highlight reels. The Dolphins have long struggled with identity, often overshadowed by other franchises with stronger traditions or bigger personalities. But with KELCE, they suddenly have a player who can embody that missing personality, who can turn every game into a spectacle. Football is entertainment, and nobody understands that better than Travis KELCE. Miami has always been about style, and now their football team finally has a star who embodies that style on and off the field. This isn't just about winning games. It's about making people talk, making people care, making people tune in. KELCE guarantees all of that. And for a city that thrives on attention, this is a dream come true. Still, beneath all the glitz and excitement, there's an undercurrent of uncertainty that makes the story even more compelling. Miami has been in this position before, adding stars with huge expectations only to fall short when it matters most. The NFL is unforgiving, and hype alone doesn't win championships. KELCE brings credibility, but football remains the ultimate team sport, and success depends on everyone buying in, staying healthy, and executing under pressure. The Dolphins know the weight of expectation can be crushing, but perhaps that's exactly why KELCE was brought in. He's been there before, he's thrived under pressure, and he knows how to turn expectation into motivation. The question is whether Miami can rally around him and finally turn all that potential into results. If they do, this move will be remembered as the turning point in franchise history. If not, it will be another what if in a long line of them. Either way, the drama is irresistible, and the NFL world will be watching closely. One thing's certain, with Travis KELCE in Miami, nothing will ever be boring again. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.